Hello everyone. So today we will be designing a double angle compression member. The major difference between in the design of a single angle and double angle is that in single angle the load will be eccentric, so we cannot use table number 9C of IS 800 2007. Hence, we need to use the formulas which are given in the steel table to find the design compressive stress, that is FCD. But in case of double angle, we can conveniently use the tables which are given in IS 800, that is table number 9, to find the design compressive stress. Now let us see this problem. Here I have written the problem so as to save the time. It states that design a compression member using double angle to carry 200 kilonewton of load. The length of the member is 1.5 meter and thickness of the gusset plate is 10 mm. No other data is given. So the length of the member is 1.5 meter, thickness of the gusset plate is 10 mm. Here it is 1.5 meter and the load is 200 kilonewton. Support conditions are not given, so we will assume it accordingly. So now let us solve this problem. It's a double angle. That means we have one angle here like this and one more angle like this, which is connected to a 10 mm gusset plate. Gusset plate. So here when we look at from side, it looks like this. So this is the gusset plate, this one is the gusset plate, and this is the angle which we are seeing. So the load is given. It is 200 kilonewton. Let us make it factor. So 200 1.5, that is 300 kilonewton. So here the first thing in the design of a compression member is to pick a trial section from the steel table. So for that we need to assume some FCD value, that is design compressive stress. So this value which we are going to assume depends upon various factors. So we can assume, say for example here, for a single angle, we can assume it anywhere in between 100 to 150 kilonewton. For double angles, you can assume it anywhere in between 150 to 200 kilonewton. For I sections where the load is very heavy or built up sections, we can assume anywhere in between 200 to 220 kilonewton. So this you have to remember. It all depends upon how much load is coming and the experience. Anyhow, once we select the section, we need to check whether it is safe or not. So we will be checking its safety. So no matter what FCD you assume, we have to check it whether it is safe or not to carry that much amount of load. In this present problem, these angles have to carry 200 kilonewton of load. So we need to assume angles in such a way that their capacity in compression should be greater than 200 kilonewton of the load. So in this problem, I am going to assume FCD as 175 Newton per mm square. So once I know FCD, we have a stress formula, that is PD is equal to FCD, that is stress into area. Here it is area required. So we know strength is equal to stress into area, or stress is equal to load by area, same thing. So now I am assuming FCD as 175. It has to take a load of 200 kilonewton. So I will get the area required. So therefore, area required will be 200 kilonewton. It has to take load, divided by 175, which comes somewhere around 1714 mm square. So this much area is required. So we need to select a angle section whose area is greater than 1714. The area of both the angles should be greater than 1714. So this is just a trial section which we need to check whether it is safe or not. So now from steel table, I will look into double angle page and I will try 2 ISA 60 by 60 by 10. This angle section I will try and I will check whether its capacity in compression is more than 200 kilonewton or not. So for this I section, here in the steel table it is given area is 2200 mm square. It is just a trial section which I am using. So you can select any section from the steel table whose area is greater than 1714. Say for example 1800 or 1900 or 2000 or 2100, or to be on the safer side you can even assume up to 2400. You should be sure that it should be economical as well. The higher the section you select, it will not be economical. So you have to select such a section that it should be safe as well as it should be economical. Fine. So now for this section we have 2200 mm square, and for this section from steel table I will check what is radius of gyration, that is RXX for single angle, RXX for double angle, or RZZ is 17.8 mm, and RYY is 29.5 mm. So RXX here it is 17.8 and RYY is 29.5 mm. So next is we need to find the effective length. So effective length we can find it using IS 800. Table number 11. You can see in table number 11 there are different conditions given. Like for example, if it's a cantilever it is 2L. If both ends are hinged it is 1L. If one end is fixed and another end is hinged it is 0.8L. Likewise here in this question they have not mentioned anything. If they mention in the question we need to adopt the same. Here in this question it is not mentioned anything, so we will assume one end fixed and other end hinged. So the value of K will be 0.8 times L. In our problem it is 0.8 into length is 1.5 meter, 1500 mm, which comes around 1200 mm. So this is the effective length for the member of length 1.5 meters. So next step is to find the slenderness ratio. That is KL by R minimum. So KL we have 1200 mm and R minimum is lesser of RXX or RYY, that is here, lesser of these two. So here RXX is 17.8 and RYY is 29.5. So it is 17.8 mm. So therefore slenderness ratio will be 1200 by 17.8, which comes around 67.4, which is less than 180 for buckling criteria. So it is safe. So this is safe. The angle which we have selected can be used. Now let us check its compression capacity. So now let us check its capacity in compression. For that we need to use table number 9. We will not be using the formulas because that will be lengthy. So we will directly use the table which are given in IS 800. Remember, the major difference between single angle and double angle is single angle, when it is loaded, most of the times it will be eccentric loading. So table number 9 is not for eccentric loading. So we cannot use table number 9 for single angles. So most of the time for double angles only we use table number 9, or for I sections which are symmetric or built up sections which are symmetric. So in order to use table number 9, there are 4 tables given: table number 9 A, B, C and D. So these tables, that those A, B, C, D refers to imperfection factors. I will write it down here in the bracket. You don't have to write it in exam. So imperfection factors, I will write it extra for your understanding. So imperfection factors are given in table number 7. Table number 7 for A, B, C and D. Its values are the value of alpha, it is also called as alpha. It's given as 0.21, 0.34, 0.49 and 0.76. These imperfections factors are depends upon the buckling class, that is buckling class, which are given in table number 10 of IS 800. So depending upon buckling class, we need to find the imperfection factor, that is the value of alpha. So as to know which table to refer, do we have to refer table number 9A or B or C or D? So here you can see table number 10. For I sections, if H by BF is greater than 1.2 and thickness of flange is 40 mm, here H is overall depth and BF is width of the flange. If it is greater than 1.2, we need to refer these: buckling about axis ZZ or XX and YY. About ZZ axis, the buckling class will be A, and about YY axis, the buckling class will be B. Similarly, if the thickness of flange is in between 40 mm to 100 mm, about XX and about YY, we can take B and C respectively. And here for welded sections, for welded built up sections, we can select. And similarly here you can see for hollow section, for welded box sections, and for angles and channels. So when we are designing angle about any axis for x-axis as well as for y-y, remember when you are designing an angle, whether it may be single angle or double angle, you have to select the buckling class as C. That means the imperfection factor, that is the value of alpha for C, is 0.49. That means when we are using a table, we need to refer table number 9C for all the double angles. For single angle in the formula, the value of alpha, that is imperfection factor, will be 0.49 for single angles. And for double angles, the table which we need to refer is table number 9C for angles and for built up sections. Here you can see in built up sections along any axis, it is C. So for built up sections and for channels, it is C. For I sections, we need to check along both the x-axis and about y-y axis. We need to find the value of FCD along both. First, we need to find the value of FCD along the x-axis, taking buckling class as A, along y-y axis, taking buckling class as B, only for I sections. For angles, it is C. Okay, so now this is extra, so you don't have to write it in the exam. No, we need to find FCD. So we, as it is an angle, we need to refer table number 9C. So therefore, from table number 9C, for Fy equals to 250 Newton per mm square. If they don't mention anything about Fy value in the question, always you have to assume it as 250. So from table number 9C, we need to do interpolation. So the slenderness ratio lambda value, you can see in the table, it is given. Our value is 67.4. So it lies in between 60 and 70. So lambda value, we know 60 and 70. It lies in between here, 67.4. So value of FCD we need to find. For 60 it is 168 and for 70 it is 152. So we need to find this. So after doing interpolation, we will get the value for FCD. I will do interpolation also here. So 168 FCD equals to 168 minus 7.4 into 16 divided by 10, which comes around 156.13 Newton per mm square. So this is the value of FCD. So after doing interpolation, you will get the value of 156.13. This is the value of FCD we have. So therefore, buckling strength or strength in compression that is PD is given by FCD into area provided. So our FCD is 156.13 into area provided, that is 2200, which comes around 343 kilonewton, which is greater than factored load, that is 300 kilonewton. Therefore it is safe. If it is less than 300 kilonewton, again you have to select a higher section and design again. So the design is over now. The load was 343 kilonewton, which was greater than 300 kilonewton, so it was safe. Now we need to provide the connection. When we are designing, that means we need to provide the connection. When there are also problems in which the sections will be given to you, that is the angles or I sections will be given to you along with connection details. In that case, they will ask you to find its capacity. That is, you have to find only till PD. that is design compressive strength, that is FCD into area provided. If they ask you to design, in that case you have to check whether it is safe or not. After that you also need to provide the connections. So let us now provide the connection. So let us provide the connection as well. So here let us provide bolted connection. You all are very familiar with this. But I will assume that you still need a gentle remind of this one, that is bolted connection. Just to revise you, I will provide both the connections, that is bolted connection as well as welded connection. In the exam you can provide any one if they haven't mentioned in any question. If they have not mentioned in any question, you can provide either bolted connection or welded connection, and if they have mentioned it, you have to provide this said connection in the question. So now let us provide the bolted connection. So it's a double angle like this. I will draw it here. With a 10 mm gusset plate. So it is 60, and this is 10, which we have provided. ISA, 2 ISA, 60, 60 and 10. So to find, when we are designing a bolted connection, we need to find the number of bolts required. So the number of bolts required depends upon the bolt value which we are providing. So now we need to find the bolt value. They have not mentioned anything in the question about the connection details, that is what diameter of bolt to be used, its ultimate strength and all. So we will assume, we are assuming now, assume M18 bolts with grade 4.6. So that means the diameter of bolt is 18. M18 means 18 means is the diameter of bolt. If it is M20, diameter of bolt is 20 mm. When I am using grade 4.6, the ultimate strength of the bolt FUB is 400 MPa. 4 means it is 400. If it is 5.6, ultimate strength of bolt will be 500. Diameter of bolt hole is 18 plus 2 mm clearance, that is 20 mm. Now, so these are the things required in finding the shear strength of the bolt. In case of bearing strength, we require thickness, in bearing, so thickness will be summation of all the thicknesses bearing in the same direction. We have two angles here. This is 10 mm, this is 10 mm, and this is 10 mm. All these three are 10 mm. Right. So for bearing to occur, this angle has to bear in, suppose if it is bearing in this direction, it has to be opposite. It has to be opposite. And again, bearing will take place between this angle and this gusset plate in the opposite direction. If it is bearing in this direction, that means it has to bear, it has to go in the opposite direction. So this direction and this direction is same, and this direction is opposite. So for bearing to occur between this angle and this gusset plate is it has to be in opposite directions. If it is moving in this direction, this has to move in the other direction. If it is moving in this direction, then again this angle has to move in the other direction. So this direction and this direction are same. This is opposite one. So in this direction we have 10 plus 10. So we have T 10 plus 10, that is 20 mm, and one more T, that is the gusset plate. That is gusset plate will fail in bearing first. One more, let me call it as T1 and T2. For gusset plate it is 10 mm. So this is the critical one. This one will fail first. So we have to consider this thickness in the design in case of bearing. Now we need to find the bolt value. So bolt value will be lesser of either shear strength or bearing strength. So lesser of these two will be bolt value. So we need to find shear strength as well as we need to find the bearing strength. The shear strength here, formula is given, VDSB equals to, okay, so the formula is given here, VDSB equals to, the formula is given in IS 800, FUB by root 3 equals to NN into ANB plus NS into ASB whole divided by gamma MB. We have this formula in the IS 800. Here FUB is 400 MPa, gamma MB, that is partial safety factor for the bolts, 1.25. Now NN and NS, it is in double shear. So we need to find the values of NN and NS. These angles are like this. It is like this. So when you provide a bolt here, say when you are providing a bolt here, this bolt will have threads here like this and it will have shank. So for a bolt, for a single bolt, it will be having threads like this. You may have seen it. Now we need to find the number of shear planes here. When we are putting a bolt here, we need to find the locations wherein this bolt will fail by shear. So here in this problem, we have two angles. When it is loaded to stress, here the bolt will fail either in this direction. The bolt will fail either in this direction or the bolt will fail at this location. It will fail either at this location or it will fail at this location. So now if you are keeping the bolt like this in such a way that at this location there are threads and at this location there is shank, that means NN is number of shear plane in thread is 1, number of shear plane in shank is 1. Or if you are putting the threads in both the shear plane up to here, in that case NN will be 2 and NS will be 1. So like this you have to take. So here we will take NN equals to 1 and NS equals to 1. Substituting all the values in VDSB, we will get VDSB equal to 103 kilonewton. So this is the strength of the bolt in shear. That means when the load reaches 103 kilonewton, the bolt will fail in shear. Now let us find the bearing strength. So bearing strength as per IS 800, formula is given as VDPB equal to 2.5 times KB DT FU divided by gamma M. So gamma MB. So here KB is least of it is given in IS 800 E by 3D naught P by 3D naught minus 0.25. Third one FUB by FU. And fourth one 1. So the value of KB, the coefficient, is lesser of these four. So here E refers to edge distance, P refers to pitch distance, D naught is the diameter of hole. So E, that is edge distance, we will take 1.5 times or 1.7 times of diameter or 1.5 times the diameter of hole, that is say 30 mm. Let us take it as 35 mm. Pitch distance 2.5 times of D, which comes somewhere around 45 mm. Let us take it as 50 mm. So substituting these all values, we will get KB, value of KB as 0.51. So value of KB is 0.51, D is 18 mm, T is 10 mm, that is thickness in bearing. Substituting these all values, we will get the value of VDPB, which is 73.4 kilonewton. So this is the strength in bearing. So therefore bolt value is lesser of shear strength or bearing strength. So we need to consider the lesser one, that is therefore bolt value will be 73.4 kilonewton. So therefore we need to find the number of bolts. So one bolt will take a load of 73.4 kilonewton. So for 300 kilonewton we require 73.4. We require a 4.08. So let us provide 5 numbers. So 5 numbers of bolts are required to carry 300 kilonewton of load safely. So this is how the design of a compression member for a double angle is done. So if you have any doubts, you can comment it in Google Classroom or here in YouTube, or you can WhatsApp me. For any doubts, do contact.